Powered by Riverside.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, wait. No, that's not me. I'm sorry. Anyway, welcome to Live from the Bench. It's me, GQ, joined by that guy over there, Boulevard.
Over here. I'm over here. Yeah, that's me, Boulevard. Y'all know me. Y'all already sick of my face if we just started. But hello, everybody, and welcome to Live from the Bench, your favorite news show or your favorite old show. You've been around before. You know what we do. We talk sports. All right. We got no opening conversation and none of that we need to get into. We got a lot to talk about. It's week 1 in the NFL, so you know what that means. Thursday night football. Exactly. No, I don't know. But yeah, it's a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game, no?
Oh, those are some steps.
Baltimore at Kansas City is Thursday's matchup. Top 2 teams in the AFC, in my opinion. You got Mahomes, you got Kelsey, you got Chiefs, you got Taylor Swift. What more could you want? On the other side, you got Lamar, you got Derrick Henry, the newest Raven of all. Where do you want to begin? Where do you want to begin? You muted yourself.
I did, but that's okay. So, with the Baltimore Chiefs games, I feel like this right here is going to be a high-scoring game. Man, high-scoring game. However, I think in this game, the Chiefs meet their match with their read option with Lamar and Derrick Henry, which is legitimately something the Ravens hadn't had a legitimate threat to run the ball outside of Lamar Jackson.
Damn sure I haven't.
So having that legitimate threat that you have to either key on one or the other as more of a significant threat. Like before, it was like, no, you got, what's the other guy, Gus Edwards or whoever was back there.
Gus
like
Edwards.
You can take the handoff. Them like, but in those situations, most guys are more concerned about Lamar Jackson because if that other running back gets the ball, the read goes to the running back. If they give it to the running back, then the defense is basically confident in their ability to stop that guy. But now with Derrick Henry, you're bringing something completely different. Now you got a game plan toward somebody that can even bring that guy down in open field. So I think this might be a Kansas City starts the season just like last year, 0-1.
I can see that they're only a 3-point favorite. Like my thing is, it's like the options now. I mean, Baltimore has 2 tight ends that they can run out there. You know, they can run 2 tight end sets with Henry in the backfield and Lamar. Imagine the possibilities of what they can run with that setup. I mean, the receivers on the outside ain't third. You know, you can't expect much out of them from year to year. Say Flowers might be something, but we can't be sure yet. I mean, I would hope for a shootout, but I mean, Ravens got a good, solid defense. Chiefs have a good, solid defense. I'd say about 27-20 maybe, but I would go with Baltimore as the winner. Again, Kansas City opens the season like last year. Excuse me, coffee, 0-1. Also want to take a time. The super fan, Xavier Babudar, sentenced to 17 and a half years in prison. Where'd I get 19? I saw it was 17 and a half years in prison for multiple armed bank robberies.
Nice. But yeah. Was it the Chase bank account glitch?
No, I guess it wasn't. Poor guy. He actually went in there with a gun. It was a BB gun, but a gun nonetheless. I mean, a bank teller can't tell the difference. Not even in Missouri. Yeah, Missouri.
Up
in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what you got a prediction for the game? Score for the game?
I'm gonna say 17-14. Baltimore.
Okay. As they like to tell me on the Facebook page, you've been smoking something. All right. I mean, what do you think of the possibilities that, as you probably heard, Taylor Swift may or may not have added plays to the Chiefs playbook?
I don't in any way, shape, or form believe that Taylor Swift is anywhere near Andy Reid's playbook. Andy Reid is too much of a professional to allow anybody, no matter how popular, he's not allowing that media circus anywhere near his playbook.
Oh, come on. No 6 receiver sets or nothing because she likes the pretty patter.
No.
I like the way they go like this and the way they go like this and the wah. Yeah, that's my Cosby impersonation.
All right, next game. The most important game, I think, game of the week for me, at least.
No, we're not covering that one today. We got a whole nother episode. Unless you're talking about Sunday's game, because we're going to cover the Eagles game on its own separate thing.
Yes.
Because we can get in depth. And that'll be coming most likely Friday before the game. Yeah,
that'll come Friday afternoon, morning, evening.
Oh,
before the game starts.
We're going to start in the ATL, shawty, with Pittsburgh at Atlanta. Both teams got new quarterbacks. Pittsburgh's got 2 new quarterbacks. Hey, we're talking about Kirk Cousins, Russ Wilson, let's ride. Justin Fields, just slide. So where do you want to begin with that? The nonsense of the draft that led to this lineup for Atlanta, instead of going to pick up making a logical pick that would actually help the team this season, went out and picked up a backup quarterback.
Yeah, I think both teams did that. But however, I feel like this game is basically one of those games where, like, you don't want to root for either team because it's just like you just don't have high expectations for either team.
Mm-hmm.
But Kirk Cousins, I think Kirk Cousins basically walks the dog on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And what I mean by walks the dog,
it isn't a great defense.
Yeah, what I mean by walks the dog is Kyle Pitts and Bijan both just take the hell off. Like, they just cook it. And this is where I say that. This is why I say Kyle Pitts gets his 8 touchdowns. He don't get his 8 touchdowns this game, but he starts getting those touchdowns right here. I wouldn't even be surprised if he has 2 this week. He'll get 2 again.
As I'm one to ask questions, and I also want to point out Russell Wilson's questionable for this game, but he'll probably play. Who gets more carries, Najee or Jaylen Warren? More touches?
I think with the Atlanta defense, as porous as it is, I'll say Jaylen Warren's going to get more carries, but it's going to be maybe 1 or 2 more carries than Najee Harris. I feel like they're going to play that running back position right down the middle.
Well, that's a disaster. So, same question, more touches, Pitts or Drake London?
Now, that's the hard part because I feel like if you say catches, Pitts is going to have more catches. When you say targets, if you say targets, it's definitely going to be London.
Okay, that's logical.
Yeah, he's going to throw to his receiver because he's going to want those plays. But if you want for sure catches, it's going to the tight end. Kyle Pitts is going to be that better receiver.
Well, yeah, Kyle Pitts is a better receiver, so that would be most logical. Is Darnell Mooney a factor?
No, Darnell Mooney hasn't been a factor for a long time. He is not going to be a factor. I don't see him being a factor all season, to be honest, because he's a glorified kick returner, slot receiver. At best, he's not somebody that can change from a receiver, from the perspective of a receiver, he's not going to be somebody that's going to change the game because he hasn't done it yet. And I don't feel like Kirk Cousins is enough to make him a better quarterback, or Kirk Cousins is enough to make him a better receiver. I feel like he is who we think he is, and you can't change that this late in his career. He's not going to change his identity.
All right. Well, I'm moving on to the next game. Ain't nothing else to say about Pittsburgh and Atlanta yet. We'll see how they turn out. I picked Atlanta to win, by the way. They're 3.5-point favorites, too. This one, Buffalo's a 6.5-point favorite over Arizona. It's the debut of Marvin Harrison Jr. You can't buy his jersey, but you can buy a ticket to go see him play this Sunday.
Can we even say his name? Like, are we allowed to say his name?
I'm allowed, because ain't nobody going to stop me.
Okay, my honest opinion on this game, Buffalo walks all over Arizona.
Yeah.
Buffalo walks all over Arizona because Arizona didn't make many changes to their team that I can note right now. I mean, I'm not going to go looking for it, but what I'm going to say is this:
draft, but that's
Arizona is still the same team. Arizona's still the same team it was last year. The only improvement to the wide receiver core, which was porous last season.
I mean, they added that kid's going to be a star. Let's be real about it. He's going to be a star. He's going to be better than anything Buffalo has out there at wide receiver. So, I mean, I picked Buffalo, but I realistically could see it going either way. Buffalo's defense is a little stronger, but it's a new season, and they could come out uncomfortable, not know what to do with Arizona's offense. It's possible. Anything's possible, though. Keon could go out there and get 18 targets. James Cook could go out there and get 212 yards rushing or something. We don't know, but that's still. I mean, there is an actual snowball chance in hell Arizona could do something in this game. But
I mean, I would like to see something new from Arizona, but I just don't have any hope for this team because
there's no reason.
I still say this. And the reason why I say, because if you have a quarterback that had a problem with playbook studying, taking his game planning serious, that person is still there. He's not changing that. Like right. This is the quarterback that you paid him a lot of money to.
A lot of money.
And you put once they put that in his contract, the clause in his contract, and then walked it back, you might have walked it back on paper, but it was ingrained in our minds.
Yep, we're still holding him to it.
Murray is a slacker. And if you were to come to me and say, hey, Kyler Murray is going to lead the team, I'm going to tell you that's bullshit. I'm not allowing that to happen because I can't trust him to lead my team. If he can't even sit behind, like he can't sit at a tablet and study, or we have to put out there that you need to study him at this much during the week, that's a problem. So I still have a lot more hope in the Buffalo Bills, as sad as that is to say, over the Arizona Cardinals, even with the new additions that they made at receiver. Even though Buffalo is basically it's Keon Coleman or bust, because I'm not confident in Khalil Shakur or whatever his name is.
You can have a little confidence in him.
Nah, we'll see. We'll see.
I can sum up this game as thus. In my player power rankings, I have Josh Allen at number 3, and I have Kyler Murray at 12. So, I expect a big game from Allen, even though I'm not the biggest Josh Allen fan or supporter. And most weeks I don't have any confidence in him. I think he's flawed as fuck, and we're going to see it most of the season, but not against this terrible Arizona defense. So lock it in. We're Buffalo by over 6.5. Because no concern day.
Yeah. Next game, Tennessee, Chicago.
Indeed.
Will Levis versus Caleb.
Ooh, Caleb's first game. Brian Shanahan's head coaching debut. The coach of Chicago is on the hot seat. At least he should be. The seat should at least be as hot as mine is, and I got a heating pad on it. So you get the gist of what I'm saying here. It should be it should be warming up. He should smell the heat.
So I feel like Chicago's going to win this.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago's going to win this.
All right, go on.
Chicago's going to win this, and the only reason why I say that, I feel like Tennessee. Well, not so much Chicago's going to win this. I feel like Tennessee's going to lose this game. Tennessee's going to lose this game. I have no true belief that Caleb Williams is going to go out there and completely light it up. I feel like Caleb Williams is going to come out there and put his mistakes. He's going to make a lot of mistakes, which is what you would expect from a rookie quarterback starting day one. He's going to make a lot of mistakes, especially against a first-team defense in Tennessee. Not that great, but you got to understand you still got the former Chiefs cornerback over here. I can't remember his name. I cannot think of his name. I'm completely drawing a blank on his name. But the fact of the matter is he's going to have his day. He's going to win. He's going to come all the way with his first win. But that's because Tennessee's going to lose it, because I don't feel like Will Levis yet is going to figure out who he is yet. He doesn't know that he's going to light it up this year. He doesn't know that yet. He doesn't know that he's about to be in the conversation for MVP. He doesn't know that yet, but he will, because he has the arm talent. He just got to get himself out of his OnlyFans bag.
See, I'm on the opposite shit. I think between Levis and Spears and Ridley, they're going to win this game. All the hype's in Chicago's favor, but they're going to crumble. Caleb Williams is going to crumble. It's in his history. It's in his nature. He's going to fold under the pressure, because when it gets hot, that's what he'll do. We've seen it. He'll go on the stage, he'll go cry in his mother's lap. I got Tennessee winning this game because I have Tennessee surprising a lot of people this season, because everyone's napping when it comes to Tennessee. Everybody's in like a food coma or something. They're not paying attention to that team. That team that's, already started to rebuild is probably about halfway through the rebuild at least. They have their quarterback. They have their future running back. They have two veteran receivers that they can hold on to for a couple more years. I don't know the contract situation. I know Burks might be on the trade market because was it the Panthers and the Steelers have already inquired, from what I understand, about Burks.
Yeah.
So, and also it's like I said, it's the debut of Brian Callahan, and we don't know what he's going to do there. So I got Tennessee in the upset that we're going to find out ain't really an upset when they come out of nowhere and possibly win their division. So
I like to see it. I would love to see it.
I need to wake up on Tennessee. They're building a monster over there.
Yeah, I would love to see that. All right, let's move on to the next game, baby.
What's the next one, man?
New England. Guys out there in your area.
All right. Yeah.
Cincinnati. Yeah. We already know what's about to happen here.
What is?
New England's going to wipe the floor with Cincinnati. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa. Absurd.
Do you know what blowout victory is? You ever heard of a blowout? Because, we haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, I've heard of a blowout. I've been in many blowouts. I didn't play for the best teams growing up.
So I see that happening and right after Christian Gonzalez demands a trade.
I mean, you got Joe Jacoby starting over Drake May, which to me is hilarious. But not all quarterbacks are ready straight out the gate, but they should be.
Joe Jacoby.
I mean, Joe Burrow coming off an injury. I got a quote from him. "This is the best I felt going into week 1 since my rookie season." That's why he came out looking like Slim Shady, taking it back to 97, 98, back when we were playing Pokemon. But Jamar Chase, who's been kind of holding out with for money for an extension, he's probably going to play. So that's definitely a further boon to Cincinnati and something New England isn't going to be able to handle. Not with Christian Gonzalez doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a mismatch. Did you see what Smith did to Gonzalez?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it's going to be all game. That's going to be all game. Mismatch.
I mean, just
all the way.
Yeah, he's got they gotta, and that's just the thing. You got is Chase, and who's the other guy? Is it still Higgins over there?
Yes.
Higgins is gonna ball the hell out. He is gonna ball out because who's guarding him? I don't have any faith.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly it.
Wait, Chase will be Gonzalez, won't it? I mean, it can't be anybody else. They're not good at corner.
Yeah, Chase will be guarded by Gonzalez, so that means Higgins is going to ball out.
Yes.
That wide receiver 2 is going to get woo.
It's a pick your poison kind of deal. That's what happens when you got multiple weapons, which New England does not understand. I mean, they barely got a quarterback. So Cincinnati by 8.5, Cincinnati by 17. That's my guess.
Cincinnati by 17. I'm about to go ahead and I'm going to call my shot. Cincinnati by 30.
Yeah. But
I got Cincinnati putting up 45 by 45, and I think New England gets a touchdown at the end of the game. That's what I have. I feel like they are not going to move the ball much this game.
Yeah. Well, New England doesn't even score 10 points. That's my expectations. Not even 10 points.
Houston and Indianapolis.
Woo!
I need
applause for this one. I need applause for this one. Where is
this
the
applause? Game right here?
Ooh,
DJ,
you know why I'm so excited about this game? Look at the quarterbacks. Look at the quarterback. Isn't it a beautiful
both
thing?
On fantasy?
No.
You got them both on fantasy? Oh.
No. It's that they're both, this season there are 15 black quarterbacks in the NFL. This will be the first matchup between two of them. This will be a matchup that will carry the NFC North for many seasons into the future. Not the NFC North, AFC South. AFC North, AFC South, whatever. Yeah, y'all know what I mean. Everybody knows what I mean. But this will be a matchup that will be key to that division for a long time, at least the next 5 or 6 years. So I say get excited because this is going to be the greatest thing since Ali Frazier, I guess. But I'm happy about it. I mean, young rivalry, CJ Stroud versus Anthony Richardson. He's coming off an injury. Jonathan Taylor, Stephon Diggs, the rest of the Texans wide receivers. That's a lethal offense there. It really is.
I'm going to call it like I see it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call it like I see it. Indianapolis gets their ass whooped.
Right.
Indianapolis about to get their ass whooped. Texans just too damn explosive. They got too much on the offensive side of the ball for me to even like I love the whole Richardson Taylor versus Stroud mixing.
Man.
But when you look at the other weapons, you got Pittman, question mark, Downs, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. And that's what you look at on the offensive side of the ball in Indianapolis. Then you look at CJ Stroud, And then you got Joe Mixon, Pierce, Nico, Michi, Dell, fucking Diggs. And it was somebody else. It's just the list. Then they got a solid tight end too.
I mean, I personally think Mixon is slightly overrated, but that's just me.
I believe that Mixon is slightly overrated, but he's enough.
It's going to be more of a committee than James and Mixon leading the way. It's going to be more of a committee. Pierce ain't a bad running back, and Mixon is on a downslide. So together they're formidable, but they're not going to set the league on fire. But that offense could be dangerous. Will be dangerous.
Yeah,
will be, especially with Diggs there now. And he's going to be begging for the ball. He's going to be begging for 15 targets a game. So we'll see how that plays out. But this week, Houston's going to kick their asses. Indianapolis, the only hope they have is that the crowd just can change Houston, can change that offense. That's their best chances. Otherwise, it's going to be a beatdown. Houston by 3. Houston by 3. Yeah, let's be polite and say by 3, but it'll be like 10.
Yeah. No. Houston by 20. It's going to be a for sure victory. I don't think it's going to be a field goal kick. It's going to be 100% Texans are going to have the lead the whole game. The entire game.
Because I don't know. Jonathan Taylor's still going to be a factor in this game.
He's still going to be a factor, but I feel like outside of the rushing attack between Richardson and Taylor, I feel like the Colts are severely lacking. And then Anthony Richardson is like, we know he has arm talent, but we're not sure just how ready he is with this system yet because he got injured. So he didn't really get the time to really develop in this system, especially as a passer. So I feel like if Texans with Will Anderson, I believe that's his name, rushing, you're going to see a lot more of Richardson having to run the ball to get out of Will Anderson's path of destruction. So I feel like you got too much to worry about if you're Indianapolis than for Richardson to sit back there and throw the ball confidently. So
okay.
I'm going to Houston all the way.
Okay. All right. I guess we're in agreement on that one. We're probably in agreement on the next one, too. Jacksonville at Miami. Miami's a 3.5-point favorite. They being polite.
Being very polite.
Can do. They might hit 70 again in this one. Who the hell knows? Jacksonville's coach should be on the hot seat. Yeah. Should be. All things considered. My only question for this one is, we know what Miami's offense can do, and we know what Jacksonville's defense can do and what Sunshine Lawrence can do, which is not enough. So, is the 3.5 too low?
It's way too low. Way too low. I feel like they're going to start the game. I feel like in the beginning of the quarters, Miami's going to start the game lighting it up. They're going to. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 1-2 deep ball Tyreek.
So the script just going to call to raise hell straight out the gate. I like that.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. When you got guys like that, you have to. If you're not doing that, you're wasting whatever weapons you have.
Be aggressive as you can with that kind of speed. With those talents. But
if I got a guy like that, I'm putting that ball in his hands. I'm putting that ball in the air. You go get it.
The over-under for this game is 48.5. Does Miami score 48 by themselves?
They could. They won't. I think Miami scores. They put up 27, 30. But I just can't I can't see Jacksonville because they just don't look that impressive.
They don't. There's nothing about their roster like, oh yeah, that's going to be a difference maker right there. especially offensively. There is no player that you're like, okay, that's the guy that's going to make the difference. So, next team up. This seems like a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Carolina at New Orleans.
All right. In my opinion, I feel like this is going to be the game where Carolina fans and Saints fans start watching NFL Red Zone.
Huh.
Because they're going to be tired of watching the score say 0-0 for 3 quarters. It's just going to be that kind of game. It's not going to be exciting. You're going to see a lot of turnovers. Derek Carr's not who he is, who he used to be, or who he thought he was going to be. I mean, he's still David Carr's little brother. Let's not forget that, ladies and gentlemen.
He's had a better career than David Carr, though.
Yes, he had a better career than David Carr.
He wasn't on his back the whole career.
His career was longer. He lasted longer. He's probably more healthy than David Carr. But at the end of the day, like, he also played for a team that actually was attractive enough to bring people there. Nobody wanted to come to Houston when David Carr was there.
Still don't want to go to Houston. People still don't want to go there.
This is going to be a quiet game.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this philosophical question. We're going to get more beyond the metaphysical here. What is the Panthers' identity? What's going to carry them?
The only thing that they're going to be carried is their owner carrying them right to the dumpster outside of the stadium.
Is this dumpster on fire?
Oh, that dumpster was set on fire, burned, and then set on fire again, tossed to the dump, and then sent back. Like, the dump doesn't even want this team.
Jeez.
And Tepper, for an owner to throw a beverage on the fans, come on, NFL, y'all gotta be. Listen, that right there is enough for me to start a committee to get him removed from ownership, because you got to understand that's conduct on becoming of an NFL owner. You represent the NFL. Y'all wear the NFL crest on your uniform, so you doing that? Bro. That starts to sell. Let's start to sell. Get your banks together, because you're selling the team now.
No argument out of me.
But the Saints come home with the victory because they are still a better team than the Carolina Panthers. But that's not saying a lot. That's how I see it.
All right. I had a couple more questions. Is Alvin Kamara washed?
Washed? Alvin Kamara's washed. Derek Carr's washed. Michael Thomas is washed. Anybody else you could name is washed. Chris Olave is the only thing on that team they got to look forward to. What's that defensive lineman name?
I don't know.
The starting defense. He's washed too.
Damn. So the whole thing is just done.
Cam Howard, I believe his name. Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's washed.
And you just called his roster shit top to bottom, I guess.
Washed. Carolina, you got Adam Thielen. He's washed. Everybody on the Panthers team is washed, and they're fairly young. They're washed. Bryce Young is washed. If I could put that man in.
I know who's not washed, and I got this guy being the surprise of the season. Might even do a Rashid Shaheed watch, because I had this boy taking a fantasy by surprise. If you don't have him, you go get him. You go trade for him, because he's going to win you some leagues. Had motherfucker average 15 yards per reception last year. And the only reason you didn't hear about him is because Derek Carr was only throwing it to him 5 times a game. Go get that motherfucker as soon as you can. What do you think? Is he a fantasy surprise? Obviously, I'm all in on dude. Every one of my fantasy teams, he's there. What do you think?
I'm not sure yet. I think I may need to see one game before I can see who's going to be my fantasy, my watch out player for the year. I need to see one game. So NFL Red Zone is going to be my.
Well, Shaheed, I'm watching you. And I'm gonna keep singing your praises till you prove me wrong and lose me every one of my leagues.
Honestly,
we gonna have the box.
Honestly, the person on the Saints that I think on the Saints, I think we should be watching out for, who we're not paying much attention to, is A.T. Perry.
Ooh.
6'5", believe he's 207, or he's around 200-pound mark. I feel like he's gonna be a dominant third option that a lot of people are like overlooking because I don't expect much from Michael Thomas. You'll probably see him slip down the depth chart. Chris Olave, we know who he is. He's going to be a star. Rashid Shaheed, he's going to do what he's got to do, but he's not going to put up I don't see him putting up a lot of receiver numbers. He'll probably get like, just like last year, low receptions, high yardage. I see he'll do that. But I think when you talk about volume receptions, look at your guy A.T. Perry. He's going to be a sure-handed number 3 option. He's going to get a lot more catches. I mean, that's saying a lot because he only had 10 catches this last season, but I have confidence that he's going to improve a lot more this year. Either that or we'll see Spencer Rattler.
Nice. Ill. I mean, either way, ill. Just ill. All right. This one is also going to be a slugfest. I'm kidding, of course. This next matchup is going to be Minnesota goes to New York to play the Giants. You can just hear everybody trying to get out of town. They're not going to this game. Nobody wants to see this shit. This is a travesty. No one. This was most years. This would be the Thursday night game, but it's week 1. This just looks like trash. Darnold versus Danny Dimes. Ooh, doesn't that get the blood boiling? Doesn't that get you pumped up for some football?
Let's get controversial.
Go for it.
Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Danny Dimes.
That's not controversial. No one else in the league will be starting Daniel Jones this year.
Sam Darnold isn't even the best quarterback on his current team.
That is also true.
But if you send him
the best of a dumb situation.
But if you send him to New York, he'll be the best quarterback on that team.
Mm-hmm.
I even put him over DeVito. I don't care. Listen, hate me all y'all want, New York Giants fans. I'm not sold on Tommy DeVito. Because if we were sold on Tommy DeVito, if y'all really believe that Tommy DeVito was the quarterback in New York, then Brian Dable will believe.
Ain't nobody gonna believe in Tommy DeVito because Tommy DeVito's father was a rat. He was a spicy rat.
He was
a dime dropper, and they had to take him out. And they took him out, and he kept going, but he never told anyone what he saw.
No.
I tried. That's my mobster voice. Whatever. It's
Minnesota takes this victory because Danny Dimes throws darts straight to the defense all game.
Yes, but unfortunately, it's Minnesota's defense. So this is going to be a low-scoring game. The over/under is 41.5. Take the under. Minnesota 1.5-point favorites. Definitely don't go in there expecting Minnesota to win this game. By a wing and a prayer, I got the Giants winning this game.
Oh, he got Danny throwing dimes out there.
Who could it be?
All right, next game. We got the Raiders. We got the Oakland Raiders versus the San Diego Chargers.
All I want to say, we didn't talk about Malik Neighbors, but we got a whole season. We'll be talking about him a lot.
We'll be talking about his anger all game.
Hospital Raiders. Balls all day.
Yep. Raiders, Chargers.
Yeah.
Raiders still don't have a quarterback. I don't care how much confidence people have in Gardner Minshew. I feel like the Chargers still maintained a solid enough defense that Gardner Minshew isn't going to be able to do enough to beat the Chargers. All their quarterback, what's his name, Herbert, has to do is not turn the ball over because the Raiders will do enough of that. So as long as Herbert doesn't turn the ball over, and they can walk the field. All you got to do is walk the ball up the field and score a touchdown. We good.
I don't know. The defense is going to be prepared. This is a coaching battle. This is what this is going to be. This is Antonio Pierce versus John Harbaugh or Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, I mean, one of these dudes is a coaching lifer. One of these kids was a monster on the field, and it wasn't Harbaugh. So
Harbaugh got sacked by Ray Lewis.
I got Antonio Pierce giving that defense fired up. I got Vegas winning this game because Minshew's not going to make mistakes, especially against this mediocre Chargers defense. Herbert doesn't have enough weaponry to compete against this ready and dangerous Vegas Raiders defense. So, no, I got Vegas winning. It'll be a close one. Over under 40. Chargers by 3. That sounds about right, except it'll be Vegas by 3.
Okay. I could see Raiders winning this, but I just feel like Gardner Minshew is not going to be able to do enough. But we'll see. We'll see.
We will see. We will see. Yes, we will.
Denver, Seattle.
Yay! Well, actually, I like Seattle. I don't know what I've said in the past, but after doing further research on this team, I like this team.
This game is going to be a wipeout.
Mm-hmm.
Denver is not going to be able to compete.
I like this defense. I like this offense. I've always liked the receiver set since they picked up Smith and Jigba. And they got the new OC is the old OC from University of Washington. And we know what they did last year offensively. They got a guy into the league. So their quarterback got into the league. I'm mistaken when their receivers got into the league. They made noise last year. And their OC is now going to be running Seattle's offense with those receivers, those running backs, and Geno Smith doing just enough to not lose the game. Watch out for Seattle. But y'all going to see it first this week when they beat the shit out of Denver. We're going to see for certain that the dude, whatever his name is, from the old Saints coach. What's his name?
Dennis Allen?
No. Peyton. Sean Payton. You're going to see that he was overrated from the beginning. And whatever his system is, the league has caught up to and surpassed it. So
they going to cook. The Broncos are about to get cooked like the brown beef I just made.
Dude,
man,
Seattle's defense is going to be run, like play hauling, schemes. Mike McDonald, the dude that was just in Baltimore running that defense, and this dude Aden Durde. They're going to be busting people asses. I think Durde is going to be a head coach in 2 years.
True.
Like, watch out for this team. Denver's going to be destroyed tonight.
I wouldn't rule out this year. I wouldn't rule out he may be getting looked at the end of this year.
Aden Durde, Ryan Grubb, those are faces to watch. Future head coach.
The reason why I say this year is because if they can win, if you can be successful, you're gonna get the call. It's only a matter of fact. And yeah, you're gonna see a lot of coaches. We're gonna see a lot of coaching turnover this season. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Seattle's going to surprise people.
I don't know if we'll be that surprised. They're still winners. They're winning. So.
Yeah, they always win. They're run organizations. Unlike both of these organizations, we've got Dallas at Cleveland, two of the worst, just the worst. There's probably a lot to get into, but I'll keep it simple. Is Deshaun Watson any good?
No. Something I heard about Deshaun Watson earlier. Basically, it came from Tom Brady. Tom Brady said it during a podcast. And what he said was Deshaun Watson wasn't able to learn a NFL pro offense. And the reason he was successful in Houston was because Bill O'Brien ran Clemson's offense instead of implementing his own offense with Deshaun Watson. So when Deshaun Watson made the change over into Cleveland, he didn't have that Clemson offense anymore, and he struggled in Kevin Stefanski's offense. And he's not willing to learn it. So that could be
a problem.
It's a big problem. So, as much as I hate to say it, Cowboys are going to lose this game. But something I want to say about Cowboys.
Huh? Wait, how you said the Cowboys are going to lose this game?
I mean, Cowboys are going to win. Cowboys are going to win.
Yeah.
But I want to say something before you go and destroy these two teams. Something that Jerry Jones spoke on. He said that thinks he's the best that can do GMing better than anyone. No one can do GMing better than him. I completely disagree. And here's why. You haven't produced much in the playoffs since 1996, was it? In 28 years, you haven't seen an NFC championship game. You haven't sniffed a Super Bowl. So in 28 years, you're the best GM to ever do it. I know. Thank you.
No. He's definitely not the best.
I refuse to believe it. And not only that, here's a stat I saw today. In 28 years, the Cowboys have 4 playoff wins. 4 playoff wins in 28 years. They have had 7 different head coaches in 28 years, which means that you have fired and hired head coaches, more times than you can win. That is a bad look, sir. As a general manager, you're supposed to hire and fire head coaches. That means that your decision as a GM, you are failing. You are failing to bring in people that can win with your team. You draft well.
They draft
but what
really.
Good is what good is your drafting when you don't have players? When you don't have coaches that can lead your players to victory. And another thing is, I've heard that he's a sucker for credit, but what was it? He wanted to draft Johnny Manziel until his son told him not to, and talked him down to drafting Zach Martin. So we know what type of general manager he is. He's not the GM. He's just somebody. He's just the guy saying yeah, and then somebody's telling him this is what he wants you to do.
Well, he needs smarter people telling him. Not that picking Manziel wasn't a terrible move if he had done it, but he needs a lot fewer yes men in his ear. A lot of people. He needs smarter people in his ear. Because as far as anybody being a better GM, I mean, you can be good at your job, but you're only as good as your staff. Like, you're only as good as your scouting department. You're only good as your money people. You know, like you need a good team around you. And I don't think there's ever been a solid team in Dallas. It mostly seems like it's run by the family, kind of like the Bears. And when teams tend to stay in the family, they don't really rise above. They don't really separate from the chaff. They tend to stay in the middle where they can run a profit and, you know, be a steady 6 to 8 win team, but not really a successful team, kind of like Dallas. But Dallas has been aims a little higher. But they're not going to win any championships because they're not going to sustain talent. Not with Jerry running the money. It's his money. It's going to come through him no matter what. But they need somebody with more sense running it, because the situation that they're in now, I mean, they just signed CD, but they still got to sign the other 2, Dak and Micah, and somebody's going to get left out. If someone smarter had been in there, this would have been settled already. It wouldn't have dragged on as long as it has. But, I mean, that is a testament to him wanting to play games in the media and all of that bullshit, which he's been doing for years. He loves that type of shit more than he seems to love winning when it matters. He loves the attention. No other owners are in a fucking press conference every week. Put it that way. He loves the attention. He loves the camera in his face. He's always got a hot take or a good soundbite. What he doesn't have is a consistent pattern of winning in the playoffs. And that is why he needs better staffing around him. He needs somebody that can bring him over the edge. He needs somebody that can get the players signed when ahead of schedule instead of last minute when they're at the maximum possible value. And now you have no choice but to sign them to whatever they need, whatever they ask for. And I was like, I mean, who has more sacks this season? Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett?
I feel like Michael Parsons still gives you that situation where you can line him up anywhere on defense and he can make a sack, get a sack. He can get a sack from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But Myles Garrett is more of a true pass rusher, and like he's probably true to form to the position. So I'm gonna give it to Myles Garrett. I'll give it to Myles Garrett because we don't know. The reason why I say Mike Garrett because I don't know where Mike Zimmer's gonna. I don't know how Mike Zimmer's defense is gonna work with Parsons. I don't know how that fits. Does Parsons have to play true DN because Mike Zimmer's more of a 4-3 guy, right? From what I've seen, he's a 4-3 guy.
We'll see.
So that's the question. That's where the concern or the conversation has to lead. Where does Mike Zimmer put Parsons? That's where, because yes, Mike Parsons can get past some offensive line, but that's when he's rushing from the edge position, not so much a defensive end. So it's any type of question. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll pick, just to be I'll pick Parsons. We'll see by the end of the season. All right, I'm making a note of that. All right. So what's the next game?
The next game, the Buccaneers versus the Commanders.
Okay. Interesting matchup. What do I have on that? Damn, I got all out of whack. Okay, Jaden Daniels debut. That's reason enough to watch it right there. But the real matchup in this game is Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cade Otton versus the Redskins' terrible secondary. Like, that's the match.
Emmanuel Forbes.
That's their number one. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if they're still standing, but he's been their number one, and he is terrible. Good news is he's another year in, so he might be a little better. He might actually be able to hold his own against your average receiver, not really the top ones, but maybe. Got to think positive.
Ooh. Yeah, so, geez. Okay. I feel like the Commanders are going to make fucking Baker Mayfield look better than he is. I hate it. And they're making Todd Bowles look better than he is. So, and Washington screwed up when they made the trade, when they let Dotson get traded to the Eagles. I feel like they messed up something that really could have helped them because all right, so really trading Jahan Dotson, well, basically replacing Jahan Dotson with Noah Brown. All it is a size difference.
Yeah, but if they had all three, they'd be way more of a champ, more of a threat.
Yeah,
and the Eagles would be less of a threat
because
there's no way to think that it was a good move for Washington.
It wasn't because it's not like Jahan Dotson has dropping issues.
No,
he doesn't drop the ball. He's not slow. He doesn't have bad route running skills. So I'm not sure if it maybe is that he just doesn't fit Cliff's system.
Right.
But I doubt that very seriously. I doubt that that's it. So because I look at Noah Brown, I don't see how Noah Brown would fit Cliff's system better than Jahan would. So my brain is going, I feel like there was just a really bad decision made in Washington on Adam Peters' part. It's just more questions than we'll ever have answers to. But it's just I feel like they don't have enough for me to be confident in their ability to succeed. I feel like what they have to do is really just 100% own the perception of this is a rebuild. We're garbage. And that's
who's that with the Commanders?
Yeah.
Or the Bucs? Okay.
Because here's the thing. I actually had hope when they got Jaden Daniels. I was like, that's all they needed. Probably a few more defensive pieces, and they could have been locked in the NFC East or competing. You know,
Deron Payne may not even play. As you mentioned, the defense.
See,
and we know how those DBs are. We know they're nothing, and they just had a terrible draft last year. They only kept Forbes and a D lineman, I believe. So it's not looking good defensively at all this season. However, personally, I have them winning this game because I do believe that Jaden Daniels to Terry McLaurin will be enough to beat the Tampa Bay defense, which is lost 3 of their best players. Barrett, White, and Davis are all gone. I might even put this down as my Boulevard upset of the week. Boulevard
upset of the week. I feel like we got to get it.
Upset of the week.
I think we need a Boulevard upset of the week button.
I guess we do. We need a lot of buttons.
We're going to make it happen. Make it happen. I like that. Y'all, if y'all in the chat, let us know if y'all think about that. In the comments, let us
do that. Definitely do that. LA Rams at Detroit. Oh, wait, did you have more?
No, I was just gonna say I got Buccaneers winning this game.
I got the Commanders winning. I believe in Jaden Daniels. At least this week, I believe in.
He believes in Jaden Daniels. I believe in Joe Hendry.
That one shook me for a loop. All right. Oh, this is my speaking of buttons. This is my fantasy special of the week. The Rams go to Detroit to play the Lions. Detroit's 3.5-point favorite. The over-under is 50.5. Take the over. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Detroit is going to east.
This is going to be a game.
Yeah.
I think this. Yeah, this is probably going to be one of the highest-scoring games.
This week. Oh, this is going to be the one. I mean, but look at the offenses. I don't know what we're gonna get out of Kyron Williams this season. If we get what we got last year, that's enough. But they added Corum to the running backs, decent. But the key there is Puka and Kupp. We know they gonna get theirs.
Yep.
So you got them. You're starting them. Then you got the other side, Detroit's offense against the Rams defense, who lost their best player ever, probably. Maybe outside of Marshall Faulk. Yeah. All right. But as I was saying, the Rams defense is going to be easy pickings. Detroit is going to feast. If you have any starters on the Lions, you want to play them because they're going to get points. Puka and Kupp are going to get and Cooper Kupp are going to get their points too, which means Stafford is going to get his points, and of course Goff is going to get his points, which to me is the best part of the game because you got Goff versus Stafford, and there's a little bit of animosity there. So that makes it a little more sweet.
I have no reason to disagree with you. I feel like, yes, Stafford. Wait, Dan, what is his name? Kupp,
yes.
It's Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp. And Puka Nacua.
They're gonna get. Of course, they're gonna do what they do. They're gonna get. I feel like Cooper's probably gonna get 88 yards. Here's Cooper. Kupp's gonna get 8 for 88. Puka 7 for 103. I know, very specific.
8 for 88. Did you ever see 80 for Brady?
No, please do not watch it.
I've seen it already.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I like those movies.
Oh, okay.
I support the elderly comedians.
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 But yeah, I agree. This becomes a show for the Detroit Lions to just have all the fun that they need to have. I
liked 80 for Brady. That's all I'm going to say about it.
What about 80 for Shady?
Shady for Hall of Fame. I can get behind that.
Ooh, okay. Lions win this game, in my opinion.
Lions win this game, absolutely. I'm not even calling it an upset.
For the Monday night game, the game
let me change that now. Why the hell did I do that? Now
the Monday night game, the game that should not be a Monday night game, and it's away too. The Jets are playing the 49ers, and the 49ers home. Jesus.
Actually, let me check my pigskin pick them.
Jesus.
Picked in the real world.
Jesus. This is going to be hell on. The Jets are like, this right here is a jet crashing down in San Francisco. Like, this
not
is
in New York. You're not like a jet crashing down in New York. No.
Unfortunately, they won't be in New York. Luckily. But this is bad. Like, 49ers, they're going to light up the scoreboard. And sorry, Sauce Gardner, you're not enough. They're going to terrorize this New York defense. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't call New York Giants and the New York Jets New York anything because they're based in New Jersey. But they're going to terrorize the Jets on all fronts. Defensively, Aaron Rodgers is going to be on his back. If he, like Boulevard said a few episodes ago, Aaron Rodgers is going to be on his. He's getting out of the game. He's going to be injured for the season. This is his retirement game right here.
Oh, yeah.
They pushed him out of retirement.
You walking in against the 49ers and they angry? Yeah. And, the Jets already like a barely there team. They got all their hopes riding on Aaron Rodgers this year. And, they had him. And you see what happened last year when they did that. Big mistake. So, I don't expect much out of the Jets this year. I don't expect Salah to keep his job when the season ends. Aaron Rodgers said, when I step on the field, I expect greatness. I don't expect him to be on the field. So I wouldn't expect greatness. Maybe if Breece Hall and Braylon Allen can do enough, maybe. That's a solid running back room. That could be potentially a solid running back room. They can strategically do enough to hold the Niners offense off because we know McCaffrey gonna get his. One of the receivers between Ayuk and Debo and Kittle, somebody gonna get numbers. So
I got
pick your poison. The Jets defense is ass out of luck. So
McCaffrey getting hurt.
Eventually, probably. Last season he didn't miss one, if I'm not mistaken, but that was like the first time.
Yeah.
But all in all, San Francisco's just got too many weapons on offense and too many beasts on defense for the Jets to do anything. San Francisco's a 4.5-point favorite. That sounds polite. San Francisco's definitely going to be more than 4.5 points ahead when the final whistle blows.
Way more.
Mm-hmm.
This game's going to be over in the first half.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
Rodgers is going to be on his back immediately. Jordan Travis, ladies and gentlemen.
And let's keep in mind Robert Saleh's seat is just going to get warmer and warmer. If I had to guess, it's about 85 degrees right now.
Mm-hmm. He'll be the Eagles defensive coordinator next year.
Nice. We'll see. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on that as the season goes on. Just another thing to look forward to. The temperature of Robert Saleh's hot seat. All right. We covered all the games. What else we got?
That's all the games. We got the Eagles-Packers game that we'll let you know. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're gonna give you the fully. But I don't think we have anything else. I'm not sure.
All right, we got it done. That's what counts.
That's what counts. But you want to know one thing that everybody should always embrace. Because people get injured, people get benched.
They do.
So I say this. If it's not your opportunity, you will get one. There's only 11 people on the field at one time. So I say this to you. We can all be starters. And there's a phrase that we believe wholeheartedly on this show. And Boulevard is 100% the best person to tell you exactly what that is. Boulevard, if you wouldn't mind, could you let these people know what they can do?
Hit the bench.